Good day, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Tourismus Namibia. I am Precious Nitanapo, and I will be your presenter for today, where we will be discussing topics, destinations, and to the point. But up next, let's have a look at topics. First up in topics, we have a look at brand building, the importance of building a strong brand for Namibia through the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, that's the NIPDB, was highlighted as a necessity at the recently held conference of the Hospitality Association of Namibia. Recognizing that a positive perception of the country is vital for attracting tourists and investors, a dedicated committee was formed to work on shaping Namibia's image and how the nation is perceived globally. The committee aims to redefine the narrative surrounding Namibia, emphasizing its unique attractions, cultural heritage, and sustainable tourism practices. To achieve their brand building goals, the NIPDB announced that they require 10 million in funding for the upcoming year. This financial support will enable them to implement effective marketing campaigns, engage in targeted promotional activities, and leverage digital platforms to showcase Namibia's tourism offerings to the world. Furthermore, efforts were made to understand the origins of the lack of proper training in the hospitality and tourism industries. Representatives from various educational institutions shared their insights on the existing curriculum and highlighted the importance of aligning it with industry needs. Experts unanimously agreed that inadequate training poses a significant hindrance to the industry's development and competitiveness on both regional and international levels. In our next topic, we look at off-road driving in the Sossusvlei area. The Environment Ministry has started with rehabilitation at Sossusvlei after a recent incident was captured on an aerial photo of off-road driving in this protected area. Tire marks were observed in one of the smaller pans and clearly indicated that the culprits were spinning with what is suspected to be motorbikes. The ministry condemned the incident, saying that in all the national parks, off-road driving or driving in restricted areas is not permitted. According to the ministry, in recent months, they have also observed vandalism of infrastructure where some visitors to the park have removed poles demarcating restricted areas to drive through. It has called upon visitors to national parks to always adhere to park rules and regulations, which are mainly meant to assist in the preservation of landscapes and other natural resources. The park rules are designed to ensure the safety of visitors and minimize the risks associated with restricted activities. Up next on topics, we continue to have a look at tourist inflows. Tourist inflows has improved before Namibia's peak tourism season, which is from May to September. The occupancy rate in April across nationwide hospitality establishments stood at 51.8% compared to 36.5% recorded in the same month last year. This is the highest monthly occupancy rate recorded for 2023 thus far. On a monthly basis, the national occupancy rate were 11.2% points higher, increasing from 40.7% this year. The year-to-date average in 2023 of 40.3% is merely 3.7% short of reaching pre-pandemic levels average of 2019 that was recorded at 44%. Tourism is set to be one of the best economic drivers for the remainder of 2023. That brings us to the end of topics, but stay tuned because up next we have destinations.
It is indeed an opening. My name is Maggie Mbago, and I am given the responsibility, single one, of welcoming you to this 24th year's tied up of Tourism Expo, which is celebrated under the theme Beyond Borders. This expo started in 1999. Some of these students were not even born. You believe me? How many of you were not born? Were not born. Can you please raise your hand? Students, be honest, you see? So this expo started in 1999, and it was referred to as Namibia Holiday and Travel Expo. This idea evolved from a highly successful stories, not expo, only stories, of games. People started playing games, and the functions to where we are today. So there was only games and little functions to where we are today.
Future. And we're going to focus just on what we're going to do at the Tourism Expo in the next 3 days. I'm a man of history and I love history, but I'm not here to talk about history today. I'm really trying to say, how do we engage the Expo in these 3 days that we have, and how do we take this concept in the next 12 months? Somewhere along the line, someone in Rome decided that we work on a yearly calendar. And so every year, how do we do stuff? I think too often we spend too much time just on the moment and not try and engage that process over a year.
We could go see the other side, drive right on past the county line, head down to Mexico or maybe Minnesota. Ain't looking in the rearview mirror, got enough packed to last a year. See what the heat feels like out in California. Tell Mom that I'll be home, but right now I've got to go. Oh, what a world we get to live in. So much magic, never boring. Let's dive in. Oh, what a world we get to live in. There's so much out there to explore. Where to begin? Well, I think that I'll start with you. The sunlit sparkle in your eyes, the mountain ranges of your smile, your hair like waterfalls that splash across your shoulders. My hand in yours, your hand in mine. You pick the place, I'll make the time. It doesn't matter just as long as I can hold you. Tell Mom that I'll be home, but right now I've got to go. Oh, what a world we get to live in. So much magic, never boring. Let's dive in. Oh, what a world we get to live in. There's so much out there to explore. Where to begin? Well, I think that I'll start with la 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 la. Oh, what a world we get to live in. There's so much out there to explore. Where to begin? Think that I'll start with you. Yeah, I think that I'll start with you. I think that I'll start with. We could go see the other side, drive right on past the county line, head down to Mexico or maybe Minnesota. Ain't looking in the rearview mirror, got enough packed to last a year. See what the heat feels like out in California. Tell Mom that I'll be home, but right now I've got to go. Oh, what the sunlit sparkle in your eyes, the mountain ranges of your smile, your hair like waterfalls that splash across your shoulders. My hand in yours, your hand in mine. You pick the place, I'll make the time. It doesn't matter just as long as I can hold you. Tell mom that I'll be home, but right now I've got to go. Oh, what a world we get to live in. So much magic, never boring. Let's dive in. Oh, what a world we get to live in. There's so much out there to explore. Where to begin? Well, I think that I'll start with la 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 Oh, what a world we get to live in. There's so much out there to explore. Where to begin? Think that I'll start with you. Think that I'll start with you. Yeah, I think that I'll start with you. I think that I'll start with you.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and hopefully this informalness of why we do stuff and sharing information empowers you to, when exhibitors come to your stand, that you can also be our ambassador to share what we're all doing at this expo. But thank you so much for being here today.
Welcome back. It's time for Destinations, and up first in Destinations we have a look at the Transnamib Museum. Visit the Transnamib Museum at the Windhoek railway station in the capital. Dixon Kahiko, Support Service Coordinator for Transnamib, takes us on a quick tour of the facility that celebrates Namibia's railway history. Let's have a look at that video.
The tourists want to come here. They normally have the information beforehand. They have books and that tells them about the museum, the different sites that they can visit around Windhoek, and that is actually how they come to know about the museum also in Windhoek.
And they have to call the head office? Or?
No, they just normally when they come to visit the station, because the museum at the station, they just normally what they normally do is they come and take pictures at the museum at the station, and then from there they just enter the museum. Yeah. So in that from that context, I think it is well marketed for the tourists. The only problem that we see is, it's local. My name is Dixon. I am the guy responsible for the museum, for the day-to-day running of the museum. I'm actually a support service coordinator, my portfolio, but I'm just helping out for the moment. My job actually intends to provide information regarding the museum. The museum was actually opened on the 1st of July, 1993. Initially, it was used. The building was used as the headquarters of the railway of the spoorweg, what we call railway police.
Uh-huh.
And then later it was converted into a museum. The railway started around about 1897. But before that, the ox wagon was the mode of transportation.
Uh-huh.
Like the Germans are the one who initiated the project, and they made use of the local inhabitants, the prisoners of war, to work on the railway, often without compensation. And these people were actually exposed to very harsh working conditions. So here in this picture, you can see for yourself how the construction was done.
Is this where people would clock in?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
And you have the ones for conductors and shunters. These ones were used by the railway police and so forth and so forth. Because remember, we had our own railway police. A room where different ranks of workers and employees were kept, or is kept, just to show the visitors the different type of ranks we as a company have. This is actually just a sort of a filing system where the train tickets were filed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is how tickets used to look like. Our services was a bit broad. We offer services within the country and outside through South Africa also. That's why you see places like Belval. So those services were actually also extended to South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's mind the steps, please.
Thank you.
This is to basically show you how people used to travel.
Oh. And the compartment would be about the size of this room?
Yes. Compartment would be the size of these things. Third room. In fact, when you travel like this, you travel in style like that.
Up next in destinations, we have a look at the Jettyshoppe. Valeria Eliasser, salesperson at Jettyshoppe, located at the waterfront in Walvis Bay, talks to us about the different products they sell as well as the services they offer to tourists and locals in the area.
I'm Valeria Eliasser. We are actually at the waterfront, and this is the Jettyshoppe that we're in. We are a courier shop that sells souvenirs to locals and foreigners, to tourists actually. So we have a variety of what we have. So we have magnets, t-shirts, hoodies, scarves, anything that you think of to take abroad or you want to take to send to somebody. We have that here. So anything here you find mostly is Namibia, Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. Mostly people look for stickers, for the license. Disc, it's also fine. You can find it here by us. We have actually expanded throughout the years. So we were just a mini small shop back then, and then now throughout the years tourism has been booming. So yeah, here we are. COVID was really bad, so we all know.
Okay, tell us about the kayaking stuff.
The kayaking stuff is more, we take people on tours where you kayak by the Pelican Point. So you kayak for 2 to 3 hours. So the pickup point is always right here. Then you check in the morning, the guides take you from here to the Pelican Point. It's 2 people per 1 canoe, and then if you haven't done it before, it's a nice experience. Nobody has ever fell in the water. So it's really a nice experience, and then you get to see plenty of seals, dolphins, whales and so on.
Okay. And which time of the year is it usually booming in terms of tourists?
Let's say April, March, April, and then May. Right now it's a bit slowing down, also because due to the mid holidays that are in there. And then we also have August. August till September it's still busy, and then it gets quiet, and then comes December. Our season always starts on the 15th of December till January.
Finally, any message to those that might want to come to visit the shop or try out the kayaking stuff?
I would say please do come and check us out. We have a variety of what you need, and you won't regret it. And hope you guys also find time to come and do tours, since we Namibians are always afraid of water. So let's come and experience. It's a really nice experience with family and friends. Especially, it's really good for couples. You know, it's a bonding trust issue. So do come. Okay.
Well, that brings us to the end of destinations, but now it's time for us to head over to the point.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Welcome back. It's time for To The Point, and today we discuss Monday, which was the International Day of Biological Diversity, under the theme From Agreement to Action, Build Back Biodiversity. This is what David Cooper, Acting Executive Secretary of the Convention of Biological Diversity, has to say. Let's have a look at that video.
Today, this International Mother Earth Day, we reflect on our relationship with and our dependence on nature. Biodiversity is the heartbeat of Mother Earth, the variety of life on our planet. It is the air we breathe, the water we drink, the soil we walk on, the food we eat, the trees we seek shade under. It is everything. Unfortunately, that heartbeat is becoming faint. Biodiversity is being lost at unprecedented rates. That loss is being accelerated by climate change and many other human factors, and our future is being threatened. It is time to resuscitate Mother Earth's heartbeat and work towards the global vision of living in harmony with nature by 2050. We can get there. The Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework can put our planet on a path to recovery by halting and reversing biodiversity loss and helping to combat climate change. However, we need to act now in order to see results by 2030. Some of the framework's targets include aims to effectively conserve and manage at least 30% of the world's lands, waters, coastal areas and oceans, and to restore or have under restoration at least 30% of degraded ecosystems. Indigenous peoples and local communities will be instrumental in achieving these and all targets. And in doing so, their rights must be respected. The framework also addresses the sustainable management of wildlife, controlling invasive alien species and pollution, including from pesticides, and the reduction of harmful subsidies, to name a few. We have the plan, but now we must move from agreement to action. If we act with urgency and implement the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework at national and subnational levels, we will start to build back biodiversity and create a sustainable future for humankind. This day and every day, I urge you to reflect on your relationship with Mother Earth. Consider what you can do, what your community can do, and what your country can do to mainstream biodiversity and implement the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework.
On the International Day for Biological Diversity, we reflect on our relationship with humanity's life support system. From the air we breathe and the food we eat, to the energy that fuels us and the medicines that heal us, our lives are wholly dependent on healthy ecosystems. Yet, our actions are devastating every corner of the planet. 1 million species are at risk of extinction, the result of habitat degradation, skyrocketing pollution, and the worsening climate crisis. We must end this war on nature. Last year's agreement on the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework marked an important step, but now is the time to move from agreement to action. This means ensuring sustainable production and consumption patterns, redirecting subsidies from nature-destroying activities towards green solutions, recognizing the rights of indigenous peoples and local communities, the strongest guardians of our world's biodiversity, and pushing governments and businesses to take stronger and faster action against biodiversity loss and the climate crisis. Let us work together across government, civil society and the private sector to secure a sustainable future for all.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Tourismus Namibia. Thank you for tuning in.